swallowing millions of lives every year, one every 22 seconds, a pandemic which seems unstoppable. The clock is ticking, the world and its leaders are running out of time.
I tell you, each Baba Samadhi darshan is a spiritual treat, enjoy. Spiritual feast, enjoy. Don't miss it. Never miss a Baba Samadhi darshan. Enjoy Paramashivoham, which is introducing and making you cognize the cosmic principles and cosmic beings. The state of Paramashiva, space of Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva, being of Paramashiva. 1 or 2 times have Ganapati darshan, Venkateshwara Baba Samadhi darshan, Devi Baba Samadhi darshan. By 3rd time, 4th time, you will see every prayer you are asking those beings, Ganapati or Venkateshwara or Subramanya or Parashakti. Simply those prayers become reality, and the relationship between you and that cosmic beings built.
Once, Arunagiri Yogeshwara, my guru, gave me an instruction and then he asked, "Will you do it?" I was shocked. I immediately folded my hands and said, "You are God, you are Shiva. How can I not do what you say?" He laughed and said, "No, only if you know I am the guru who is going to make you experience God, you need to listen to me." Understand? The most powerful cognition is God is Guru to make you realize you are God. Only then you will achieve enlightenment. Guru is the manifest form of Paramashiva. Paramashiva is unmanifest source of Guru. I welcome all of you, the whole world, to come and celebrate, enjoy not only the enlightenment ecosystem, the beauty of how it is getting revived. Be an insider for this great revival process. If you are an insider even for a startup company, you will understand not only the result of the company, even that being an insider is such a joy. Being an insider when it was happening is something extraordinary. So, I welcome all of you to come and be part of an insider of this revival of KAILASA, the enlightenment ecosystem, sovereign order of KAILASA, KAILASA nation itself. I request and welcome, invite all of you to become e-Kailasian. Get your free e-passport and make billions receive this free e-passport.
At least once in life, come face to face with God. A glorious tradition in Hinduism is Pada Puja, when the divine Paramashiva radiates through the Master to receive your worship and love, bless you, comfort you, empower you to meet your desires, remind you that you are Him, not the limited human existence you identify with. Today, Paramashiva himself lives and walks among us as His Divine Holiness Paramahamsa Nithyananda. Compelled out of deep love for you, He has descended in person to awaken you to the experience that you and He are one, and that He happens exclusively for you.
If you decide you, me, you, I'll give me to you.
Come experience the ultimate, the Parama, that you possibly can. Allow yourself to receive what God has personally come to tell you. Come sit at His feet by performing the Pratyaksha Pada Puja.
Hinduism cannot live exclusively as one sampradaya. No. All sampradayas of Hinduism is an ecosystem. So don't keep quiet thinking that if one sampradaya is attacked, only that sampradaya is going to be affected. All of us are ecosystem. I invite all of you to get involved and enjoy Hinduism by the principle of Dharmo Rakshati Rakshitaha. When you protect Dharma, Dharma protects you.
Even a malignant man, by beginning in the company of Satsanga, makes even the impossible as possible in this world. KAILASA is the message from Paramashiva to have superconscious breakthrough. Enlightenment, power manifestation, Paramashiva, everything served to you without you even moving out of your couch. We have perfected the science of helping every individual from every cultural, religious, nationality background. We can multiply the quality and quantity of your life. The most ancient, best way of life and best kept sacred secrets all these years handed over only from guru to disciple, guru to disciple, guru to disciple. Secrets kept inside the Siddha Paramparas, Siddha tradition. Enlightenment is the birthright of all human beings. KAILASA is responsible to provide that to all human beings. Whole world should become KAILAShians.
Boy, girl, blue, pink, hunter, gatherer, gay, straight, bisexual, heterosexual. The deepest identity we carry in today's world is that of gender and its million associations. The very first need is to know yourself, not by the belief of your parents, the judgment of your teachers, the vested interests of your politicians, but as can only be revealed by an enlightened source.
In Hindu tradition, till the age of 21, all of them have been asked to be a brahmachari. Not that everyone will be successful in celibacy, but that is the time they will discover their gender. Gender is not just related to body and physical maturity. It is related to physiology, psychology, and the whole being. Exploring your identity, your gender is 10,000 times more juicy, celebrating than exploring the other body.
If you are feeling deeply good at wow, I am really worthy of what I am. I am really worthy of life. I am really worthy of whatever is happening around me. When you are experiencing the love for yourself, suddenly you will experience that love for the whole. You will see that everybody, everything is worthy of what they are. You feel like blessing everybody and everything.
Who am I starts and ends inside your body. By whom am I starts and ends in cosmos. By whom, by whose will everything came to existence. Seeking the source, you can capture it by developing the subtle grooves in your brain, by evolving complete completion.
Paramashivoham. Experience the ultimate you. Conducted by Avatar for Hinduism, His Divine Holiness Paramahamsa Sri Nithyananda.
The time is ripe. The world is ready. You are going to experience literally Paramashiva. Most powerful, intangible but definitive, intense processes. This is the most powerful spiritual nuclear explosion, the strong force of KAILASA landing on planet Earth directly. One thing I can be sure, you will not exist end of the program. I can guarantee that. Only Paramashiva will be there.
Born more than 1,000 years ago, devastating human societies, the ancient plague known as King's Evil thrives, swallowing millions of lives every year, one every 22 seconds, a pandemic which seems unstoppable. The clock is ticking, the world and its leaders are running out of time.
I tell you, each Bhava Samadhi darshan is a spiritual treat, enjoy. Spiritual feast, enjoy. Don't miss it. Never miss a Bhava Samadhi darshan. Enjoy Paramashivoham, which is introducing and making you cognize the cosmic principles and cosmic beings. The state of Paramashiva, space of Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva, being of Paramashiva. 1 or 2 times have Ganapati darshan, Venkateshwara Bhava Samadhi darshan, Devi Bhava Samadhi darshan. By 3rd time,
I bless you all. let you all open all your three eyes and manifest the powers of Mahasadashiva. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
नित्यानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वदी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि. Nityanandam, everybody. I welcome every one of you for this auspicious day of the Nithyananda Satsang and understanding why Kailasa. The Kailasa nation. An introduction to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam.
I bless you all. Let you all open all your three eyes and manifest the powers of Mahasadashiva.
Sorry for the technical glitch. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, is the reviver of Kailasa, the ancient enlightened Hindu civilizational nation. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is an avatar as per Hinduism and is the Supreme Pontiff, which is the Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam of Hinduism. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has revived the science of power manifestation, yoga, and created the temple-based universities for the humanity. The sovereign order of Kailasa that is led by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and the Nithyananda order of monks, nuns, and the Hindu diaspora are working for global peace and to give a superconscious breakthrough to the humanity. The Nithyananda Hindu University, which is the world's largest with extended campuses in over 150 countries, is collecting, organizing, preserving, time capsuling, decoding, spreading, and reviving the 20 million source books of Hinduism and the 64 sacred arts and sciences like Ayurveda, music, dance, sculpting, astrology, Vastu, and many more. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of the Shamala Pita Sarvajna Pitam, which is the ancient apex body of Hinduism, and the present emperor of the Suryavamsa Sarangi Samrajyam. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has survived the worst persecution of multiple assassination attempts on person, on his character by the anti-Hindu elements. Some of the news and updates from Sri Kailasa. Today is the 25th day of the Pachepatni Vradam, where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, along with the devotees and the disciples all across and around the world, in accordance to the tradition of the Samayapura Mariamman temple, encouraging the whole world to live a long and healthy life with the prasada of Devi Parashakti. Yesterday, the Kailasa's Nithyananda Hindu University entered into the Day 1 Paramashivoham, Level 2, Season 25, crossing over 330 days of unbroken online service to the people from over 100 countries. Glimpses of the Bhava Samadhi Darshan of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Yesterday, the Kailasa's Department of Broadcasting facilitated the Sri Krishna Bhava Samadhi Darshan, where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism graced the whole world in the Bhava of Bhagavan Shri Krishna on the special auspicious occasion of Holi. Bhagavan Shri Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, whenever the positive consciousness declines and collective negativity rises, I happen again and again. The possibility of updation is a unique contribution of the Vedic tradition to the world. the divine descending into the human body again and again. He can also assume the human body as an enlightened being to save the planet Earth. Whatever form he takes, one thing is sure: he cares, he nourishes. He takes care that the humanity does not get destroyed. He keeps the possibility of the highest consciousness, elevation, alive. So, what will we be learning today? Today, we are going to be understanding what are the critical global issues that the society is currently facing today, the source scriptures of Hinduism and how these problems can be resolved, the many invasions and attacks on Hinduism attempting to destroy the science, how and why Kailasa needed to keep all these source scriptures of Hinduism alive. So let us look at some of the stats in the world today. Some of the critical global issues in the society. More and more people in Bangladesh died from suicide last year than who were killed by the coronavirus, according to a study on Saturday by the Alcohol Foundation. Bangladesh reported 70% more deaths from suicide than from COVID-19. The rate of death by suicide in people from over 10 to 24 years has increased by 57.4% in the US over a 10-year period from 2007 to 2018. According to the data released by the Center for Diseases Control and Prevention, CDC, on Friday. India accounts for 17.8% of all reported suicide cases, and according to the National Crime Bureau, India reported 381 suicides daily for the year 2019. It's not just per year, per day there were 381 suicides in India. The New York Times reported in 2007 that the number of American children and adolescents treated for bipolar disorders had increased 40-fold between 1994 and 2003. I'm sure that these stats would have gone up multifold between the last about 12 years. In a recent study that was published in the depression and anxiety of more than 67,000 college students from more than 100 institutions, and 1 in 5 students have had the thoughts of suicide. Depression. The president of the American Psychological Association, 1998, said, "We discovered 2 astonishing things about the rate of depression across the century. The first was there is now between 10 and 20 times as much of it as there was 50 years ago. And the second is that it has become a young person's problem. When I first started working in depression 30 years ago, the average age of the first onset of depression occurred was 29.5. Now, the average is between 14 and 15. So you can see by these set of statistics, by these set of slides that we are going through, how the rate of death, how the rate of suicide, the rate of depression, the rate of suicidal thoughts has constantly been raising, and how the younger group of the society is getting affected more and more. Here are some more statistics on the same. There are severe depression cases, and these have almost doubled in the UK within the last 2 months of the pandemic setting in. You can see in the graph July 2019 to March 2020 and just June 2020. These are the numbers suffering from moderate to severe depression in the UK. You can see the aged between 16 to 39. You can see that there's more than a double-fold increase in the in the depression percentage between that age. Mothers report more frequent feeling of frustration, depression, loneliness, and close to 50% of them reporting that they felt depressed or lonely and isolated few times a week. So this is from the PBSO News Hour that was published this particular statistic. You can see that it was mothers who had the most amount, and most of it felt depressed most of the time. So the depression is a common mental disorder, and globally, over 264 million people of all ages suffer from depression. Depression is a leading cause of disability worldwide and a major contributor to the overall global burden of the disease. More women are affected by depression than men. Depression can lead to suicide, and there are various effective psychological and pharmacological treatments for moderate and severe depression. Depression, suicide, and mental health. Nearly 38.5% of the corporate employees sleep less than 6 hours a day, causing diseases like depression, hypertension, diabetes, etc. Most suicides in India are by people aged below 44 years. 42.5% of the corporate employees in India suffer from depression. In all, 135,445 people committed suicide in just 2021 in India, at an average of 371 suicides daily. Nearly half of these with severe mental diseases are not treated. The total estimated number of people living with depression increased by 18.4% between 2005 and 2015. The rate of anxiety and depression among the corporate employees has increased 45 to 50% between 2008 and 2015. 3 of every residents in the urban areas are estimated to suffer from depression. 56,675,969 people suffer from depression in India as of 2015, and that's 4.5% of the entire population of India. 36% of Indians are likely to suffer from major depression at some point in their lives. The government estimates that 1 in about 5 people in the country need counseling, either psychological or psychiatric. The suicide is the second leading cause of death between the age group of 18 to 29. So as you can see, these statistics, the numbers are soaring high in millions who are having to battle the depression, suicide, and how it has been affecting the mental health care. And we're all also particular that not every one of them receive the mental health care, which is leading them to go and have themselves make some actions, take some decisions that are completely regrettable. Suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in US for all ages, as per the CDC. Every day, approximately 123 Americans die by suicide. There is 1 death in suicide in the US every 12 minutes. Depression affects 20 to 25% of Americans age 18 plus in a given year. Suicide takes the life of over 48,300 Americans every year. The highest suicide rates in the United States are among the whites, the American Indians, and the Alaska Natives. In 2015, there were 1,104,825 attempted suicide In the United States, approximately 1 person attempts suicide every 31 seconds. So it is generally estimated that there are 25 attempts for one death by suicide. Between 25 and 50% of the people who kill themselves have previously attempted suicide. Those who have made the suicide attempts are at a higher risk for actually taking their own lives. Each suicide intimately affects at least 6 other people. 2013, it was estimated that 1 in every 63 Americans have become a suicide loss or a suicide survivor. The suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the United States. It was responsible for more than 47,500 deaths in 2019. It's about 1 death every 11 minutes. Number of people who think about it or attempt suicide is even higher. In 2019, 12 million American adults seriously thought about suicide, 3.5 million planned a suicide attempt, and 1.4 million attempted suicide. Close to over 800,000 people died due to suicide every year. For suicide, there are many more people who attempt suicide every year. Prior suicide attempt is the single most important risk factor for suicide in the general population. Suicide is the third leading cause of death between the ages 15 and 19 years old. 79% of the global suicides occur in the low and middle income countries. An estimated 3.1 million adolescents aged 12 to 17 in the United States had at least one major depressive episode in 2016. This number represents 12.8% of the United States in that age group. More females than males experienced a major depressive episode in 2016. 19.4% of females versus 6.4% of males. That year, an estimated 2.2 million American adolescents aged 12 to 17 had at least one major depressive episode with severe impairment. The Shabda Veda. Swamiji introduces to all of us the great Vedas in the form of Shabda Veda. The book is the source of the cosmic knowledge. It is a compilation of all the branches of Vedas available as of now in planet Earth for the planet Earth. Fortunately, whatever available branches of the Veda is there are compiled and published in just this one book. With the grace of Paramashiva and all the great rishis through whom the Vedas were revealed and Vedamata herself revealed. This is the basis of everything that is done in Kailasa. How Kailasa lives is based on this very book. This book is everything for us. It contains the Upanishads, the Aranyakas, all the rituals we do, Charya Pada, lifestyle, Kriya Pada, all the rituals, Yoga Pada, the yoga, the Jnana Pada, all the powerful cognitions, our manifestation signs, and a lot more. Let's understand how the Hindu source scriptures was and is attacked by the Hindu-phobic entities. Almost 100% of the Hindu universities are destroyed. 8 major libraries, including Nalanda, Takshashila, Vikramashila, with millions of books destroyed. There are more than 2 million temples in India, but not with a library. Thousands of mutts, libraries destroyed or are poorly maintained. Major collection of these manuscripts in hand of the Oriental Institute or institutes funded by foreign countries. Millions of scriptures have been stolen by the invaders. The very definition of Hindu comes from the Vedas and Agamas. The Hindu-phobic gangs and entities have brainwashed the Hindus into believing the name was given by invaders and Westerners from the society. There is a scriptural reference for it from the Meru Tantra, the Shaivagama. Hindum chadushyateva hinduruchyate priye. It says, Hinam, which means, oh my dear, the one who renounced the ignorance and the inferiority complex is called a Hindu. The next is from the Shabdaveda Kalpatarudruma. It says, Hinam dushyati iti Hindu, the one who has renounced ignorance and inferiority is called a Hindu. Next is from the Brihaspati Agama. It says, Himalayam samarabhya yavata indu sarvoram tam deva nirmitam desham hindustanam prachakshate. Starting from the Himalayan mountains and extending to the Indian Ocean, God created country is called Hindustana. So these are various scriptural references on the word Hindu, which belongs to each and every one of us practicing Hindus all across the globe. Joining us today on this beautiful panel, we have Reinosan and we also have Sri Nithyananda. I welcome both of you on this panel, and I would like you all to introduce yourself. Go ahead, Reinosan.
Nithyananda Maharaj, Nithyananda everyone. My name is Reinosan and I'm from Canada. And I'm coming today from a background with software engineering and a little bit of medicine as well. Also been with Swamiji for the past, since 2013. And really one of the best things that I can say Swamiji has given me is the uncompromising Hindu ecosystem. And in different ways, as more time happened, as the relationship with Swamiji started to build and build, I really started to see the real value of, one, what it means to be Hindu, because actually personally, I was not born Hindu. So first, what it means to be Hindu. And two, what it means to be uncompromisingly Hindu. So this is one very powerful thing I wanted to share about the relationship with Swamiji. And I wanted to thank you for today, inviting me out to the panel discussion. Nithyananda.
Yes, thank you very much, Reinosan. Nyatma, you can go ahead.
Nithyananda Maharaj, thank you. Nithyananda, everyone. I've been blessed by Swamiji with the spiritual name through initiation of Sri Nithyananda. I grew up in Canada. I was working as a computer engineering technologist for some time and as an elementary school teacher since 2007. And I was studying the educational systems and the trajectory of the society and what was needed, and I started learning meditation and traveled to India for the inner awakening experience in 2009, where I got my solution from Swamiji, and 2015 was initiated into the path of brahmachari. So had those experiences of a lot of what Maharaj, what you're speaking about with the different challenges that society is facing, but not having a solution. So needing to actually go past the being stuck in motivations of fear and greed in the lower chakras, but actually go to the life source of prana. So that has been a completely liberating experience. And there's a big difference between talking about solutions and having that experience. And when we look at even all the different organizations that are putting out these statistics of the various even issues, what's missing is actually a solution. Not only a suggestion of a solution, but a proven solution is literally absent from the discourse. It's literally not even ever mentioned. So these things have been completely beautiful. So we continue to experience them more and more each day. Thank you, Nithyananda.
Yes, thank you very much. And yes, as you are exactly were sharing, that the various different statistics that we were looking at today are really depressing even to hear about. But at the same time, as you were sharing, there is not a situation or not real efforts that are provided, or not sufficient efforts that are provided to actually provide solutions to various different problems that we are actually tackling with the society. And one of the major reasons, as we were seeing today, is that the very roots of Hinduism are being snatched, are being taken away. As we saw today, the very word Hindu, we have all been brainwashed that Hindu is not a Hindu word. It's a word that was given to us by invaders. So I would like you all to, maybe you could share a few thoughts on how the gaslighting, the Hindus are constantly being gaslighted, and the society actually creates an ecosystem, or the society creates a situation, and it actually makes us Hindus believe that we are not someone worth, or we are doing something wrong, and we're not actually legitimate. And how this has been affecting, where even though we have the solutions in our Vedagamic civilization, in our Hindu Dharma, but that is not legitimized and is always considered as some superstition. And even those that actually work is actually taken over by, snatched away from the roots of Hinduism, like for example the yoga, which is undeniably able to give the experience, is the roots are snatched away from the Hinduism. So if you could share your own thoughts on how the Hindus are made to gaslight themselves about their own legitimacy and who they actually are. So start with Renason.
Yes. So one thing I can share about this is this feeling of being orphaned. See, a lot of the conflict, the inner space conflict that happens throughout the world today, whether you're actually born in your native country or you're born in your native society, but in different ways, this feeling of being orphaned, not knowing where you're coming from, not knowing who you are, and different ways to approach the same question. And how this was imposed on the Hindu diaspora by making the origin of Hindus, making the origin of Hinduism seem like a very clouded, kind of vague, confusing kind of idea, where the only real solid idea that we have is that, oh, when the invaders came, they came and called us Hindus because of the Indus Valley was here, or different reasons, different approaches to say, this is why we use the word Hindu, but actually there's no such thing as Hindu. As long as we'd have this confused idea about our past, one example I can give is Tirumular. He's a great Shaivite saint. He's also a Tamil poet. But when the invasions happened, when the Christian colonization happened, then they did one very cunning thing. They removed the imagery of Tirumular. They removed the Basma. As soon as they removed the Basma, they kept all the same writings, they kept all the same, everything that Tirumular said, taught it in the schools, made the kids memorize it and all these things. But then if I asked the Tamil adults, Tamil parents and all these things about, hey, can you tell me about Tirumular? Or didn't you learn this in school? Or this kind of thing, right? Because what Tirumular shares is, obviously what he's speaking from a very, basically the core Hinduism, one of the core spaces of Hinduism. But when asking the question of like, who was Tirumular, what was he talking about, and all these things, there's a very confused, vague kind of idea. And because there's a kind of confused, vague kind of idea, there's no actual conviction about Hinduism. There's no actual conviction about why we do what we do, about who we are. When the conviction is there about who you are, when the conviction is there about why you do what you do, then first of all, it doesn't make sense to be doing anything else. Second of all, you become unapologetic. You become very straight about who you are. The very gaslighting dissolves in your system. Maybe not to say dissolves, but it becomes redundant because you know very clearly who you are. You know where you're coming from. You know your space. You know your roots. You know your consciousness. When you know this space, when you're grounded in this space, then no more the idea of confusion or delusion or anything like this can happen. Even the very definition of Hinduism, as per our Shastras, says, "Oh, my dear, one who renounced ignorance and inferiority, delusion, is called a Hindu." What kind of a powerful space this is, what kind of a beautiful space this is. And how, when we remove that space, when we remove this definition itself of what is a Hindu, then naturally the whole ground on which Hinduism is sitting becomes a cloud, actually. It's no more a ground, it's more like a mud. So this is one thing I can share about the gaslighting of Hindus and how it's addressed by the Shastra Pramana of what is a Hindu. Because it gives us the conviction. Because a conviction is not there right now, there's a lot of gaslighting that can happen because there's a confused idea about our history, not even just about our culture, but our very identity. As long as the confused idea about the identity is there, there's always going to be that inferiority complex. But when you're sure about who you are, when you're confident about who you are, when you simply know you're Paramashiva, what can shake you? Nothing can shake you. So this is what I wanted to share about this. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Renasan. Nyanatmam, Maharaj, you want to share your thoughts on it?
Sure. Nithyanam, thank you. Yeah, just the, if we speak about gaslighting and the recent Hindu history, in a certain sense, gaslighting also means making someone think they're crazy. You take the very small sort of aspects that exist around life and try to blow them up into a big issue to make people not able to function in a conscious way. It's there's a lot of different sort of aspects about it, and really, if we even sort of consider, what is it that we're teaching, and specifically the argument that Hindus never existed, that Hinduism never existed, that the word Hindu never existed, the space, place of Hindustana never existed, that again, this is imposed. So when you make a people, we even see this with the native North American populations in North America, when you make a people believe and experience that they have no history, that they have no purpose, that they have no foundation, this is specifically damaging, obviously, for young people. And so we're seeing that with the growing rates of depression and youth suicide, anxiety, social stress, and whatnot. So one who renounced ignorance and inferiority is called a Hindu. So this comes from Hindu scriptures itself. So this cannot be claimed by any other tradition. All the Vedic traditions have the Vedas Agamas as their source. That's by definition. So it's our responsibility to update and reinterpret them for how to implement that in our life, but we cannot modify them. We're not in the business of modifying the truth of life in the lifestyle of revealing what is it that a soul needs, a bigger perspective, right? It's a greater science. So the Vedic civilization is really concerned about not just the short number of years that you may be on this planet, but if you came here from somewhere and you'll be going somewhere after this, that's really the bigger issue that we need to solve. If we get so confused and unable to look at with clarity and from an unclutched, unagitated space, what is the reality of our life? Like having this Icha Shakti, just having the clarity makes the necessary things happen. So the gaslighting of saying you don't have a history, you don't have a purpose, you don't have a meaning, you don't have a value, it can create, especially when there's not a supportive ecosystem, creates so much self-doubt and so much fear that, oh, I have to do something, I have to make something happen, I have to make something happen. It prevents the people from just clearly seeing what's going on. So Hindus ourselves, we have the one who renounced ignorance and inferiority is called a Hindu. So one who renounced ignorance. Do we see that focus anywhere in any educational systems for any children or any segments of society, where the focus is simply removing ignorance without bias? We don't see that anywhere. We don't see that anywhere. So in that sense, we can see very clearly, there's very few people, there's very few living Hindus. Your goal is purely to remove ignorance from yourself and remove powerlessness, inferiority, the delusion. So much of the education is putting people into jobs, putting them into the economic system. And that's the focus, and sort of forget about it. And you're on your own after that. After that, we don't know. I guess lastly, if you look at any of the discourse, like there's two major things that that Swamiji and KAILASA, of course, many things, but that the living avatar contributes. But having this spiritual perspective, because this is literally something that you can almost not find anywhere on the planet, the Enlightenment perspective. That's almost impossible to find. Maximum, you can have people talking about it. So to be able to give from that spiritual experience, the context on modern life and living, that combination you cannot find anywhere. Anyone who has the Enlightenment experience is not speaking loudly against the forces that are gaslighting Hindus. And people who are speaking loudly don't have the spiritual experience. So this revelation of the flow of Dharma, the flow of life, that one who renounced ignorance and inferiority is called a Hindu. So this is what the masters have lived, and it's the point of removing, doing tyaga of any ignorance, even if you don't know where it's going to lead. And this you don't see anywhere. Everyone has a vested interest that we're all working to protect. And so what the Hindu perspective, the world's only and oldest ancient living civilization in its own scripture defined as what a living Hindu is one who lets go of all the fears and fantasy and bias, not in knowing exactly where or how it's going to lead, but in knowing that that's what every being needs without bias. So this is one of the issues when you have the world's longest running Holocaust, defined in the records of Mughal invaders and otherwise, of how many Hindus they killed, 100,000 in a day, or would they pledge to kill 100,000 a year? So this going on for 1,000 years, this is what happens to a people. They lose sense of what their history is. And when you don't have a solid guiding system to lead young people to liberated, powerful living, then naturally they get lost and confused by the gaslighting attacks.
Yes. So as you were exactly sharing, it's very fundamental for us to be able to have the basic ideas about our tradition, our history, our background, our origin. Otherwise, as you were sharing, over the last 1,000 years of continuous persecution is because we do not know who we actually are. And one of the most important things, as both of you were sharing, is that how Swamiji is actually creating this ecosystem for us to be able to experience, for us to be able to get back to our true identity. And a very important component of that is where it's authenticated through the Pramanas. And it is the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, beloved Swamiji, for the first time, who has been able to authenticate the various cognitions, the powerfulness, the science of Hinduism with the source scriptures, where there is utmost emphasis that is given for us to be able to see that whatever is being taught is from the source, from the roots, and then is also being utilized by various different aptas all across in our various itihasas and puranas, and then has again been experienced by Swamiji himself in his very personal life, and then ultimately being shared with every one of us. So this entire set of the 4 levels of pramanas that Swamiji does, and of course his unique contribution of scientifically validating whatever the powerful cognitions that exist, that is happening. So these 4 levels of pramanas, or the way of evidences of each powerful cognition, actually authenticates everything that we are learning. So we all know that it is not some random thing that we are learning, or not some single individual's experience that he has gone through that we are learning, but actually gives us the legitimacy once again that no, we are doing something that is actually more powerful, that is actually ancient, that actually belongs to us, and no one is there going to claim the ownership of this. We do not need to live as slaves of someone else, but rather our Hindu Sanatana Dharma, our Hinduism, is a very open infrastructure, an open architecture that supports the growth of each and every individual consciously, physically, mentally, in every single level and in every single stage. And particularly the way that Swamiji has been reviving, as we were seeing in the statistics, there have been multiple attacks that have been taken place on Hinduism, the various different humongous knowledge repositories that have been destroyed, burned down to ashes, which burned for literally months together. That much of knowledge that has been stolen, that has been taken away, that has been snatched, just for that one purpose of not letting us know who we truly are. Because if we as Hindus all across the globe get to know what our true origin is, what we actually stand for, who we actually belong to, and what our core cognitions, our root cognitions are, if we become clear, then we will become the most successful people, the most intelligent, the most powerful beings all across. If you see, like in the statistics that we were seeing, the Indians, whether it's in the United States or the United Kingdom or in the India itself, one side being the most powerful, the most intelligent, the most key contributors to the society, are the other side, the most number of people who have been affected by depression, by suicide, and by these mental health issues. It's like literally dire opposites, but of the same community. Why? And I think that one of the major reasons for this is not knowing who we truly are. Literally, we get into so much of confusion. We are put into so much of confusion about what we truly are. Because by the very nature, in our very blood, in our very DNA, we know that life is not just about money, it's not just about relationships or outer world success and career, but there's something more to it. In that quest of seeking, when we are actually looking towards finding who we truly are, what our true purpose is, that is when we are misguided. Especially the suicide rates, the mental health rates, depression. 15. I wanted to actually put down here that 14 and 15 at this point in time, 29.5% previously 50 years ago. One of the major reasons I see is that the maturity that comes down very early. The way of exposure to life, to the good sides of life, to the bad sides of life, makes an individual go literally haywire, because they have no idea what the purpose of life is going to be. Earlier, the age at which you could actually come to understand what is going to be a purpose of life was there at that 29.5, which was kind of a middle-age crisis. But now that very thing has come down to very ages of 14 and 15, because we do not know what we are supposed to be doing in our life, and we do not know how to handle things in our life. And that has actually contributed to the drop of the age from 29.5 to the average age of 14 and 15. So Reynolds, what do you think is actually one of the reason where one side we are the most successful community, the most successful region, practicing followed religion, who are the most successful people. But the other side, we are also the most targeted or affected people by these mental health disorders.
Yes, one thing I can share about this is, again, it comes to this basically an identity crisis, where we know the vijnana, the cognition structure, is actually mapped in the system. Whether you're born a Hindu or not, or anything like that, the Hindu cognition, the cosmic cognitions exist in you. You're hardwired for it. And so when life fate comes and puts you in front of a certain situation, when these kinds of things start to happen, and there's space, it's almost like the map is there. The solution is there. But for some reason, somehow, you can't find it because the map is not there. Because you don't know how to get it. You know it's right there. You know the solution is right there, but it's always tantalizingly closed. It's always just around the corner, but every time you turn the corner, it's not there. Why? Because again, it comes down to the identity crisis of what it means to be a Hindu, what it means to live beyond delusion and ignorance, to live renouncing delusion and ignorance. Because especially when it comes to, especially today, we were looking at the statistics based against the suicide rates. One very strong cognition that started to happen as I was seeing the statistics is when it comes to basically waging any war, as soon as you enter the fight, you lost. Same way, this whole inner fight happening, where in these situations, it ends up leading to suicide. As soon as you enter the fight with delusion, you already lost. And because the only reason why you enter this fight itself is because the cognition is not there, that you don't have to entertain delusion. The cognition is not there, that you can literally go beyond delusion. I remember Swamiji sharing in one satsang where whenever you're put in front of a crisis or any situation or having some conflicts in your life, just start chewing on the cosmic cognitions. What I mean cosmic cognitions, really cognizing what it means, the 11 dimensions of the universe, the 25 heads of Mahasadashiva, the 5 faces and phases, cognizing, oh, what does this mean in my life? How does this apply? And all these things, just simply chewing on the cognition, and you'll see that the conflict that was there maybe half an hour ago or an hour ago literally just dissolves in front of you. Why? Because we know the science of not engaging with the fight happening in front of you, but literally going to the next plane, making the whole thing redundant. This is a cognitive science. This is a cognitive reality. Because this cognitive reality is not there in the prajnana, it's not cognized as a normal way of living. Because actually in Hinduism, this is a normal way of living. The definition of a Hindu describes this, where you literally live renouncing delusion, renouncing inferiority. Whenever any situation comes, renouncing the delusion and just going to the next level. Suicide, depression, anxiety, bipolar, all these things become redundant when you don't even engage and just go to the next level. And so this is what I can share about why on one side, we're the most contributing diaspora. We're the most contributing community. But at the same time, also being most impacted by the depression, suicide, and these things. Because on one side, the map is there. We're hardwired for it. So naturally, when we move, when we engage with life, it simply happens. We simply manifest the best of the best in any field we enter. This is happening on one side because we're already hardwired for it. But on the other side, why the mental impact, emotional impact is all hitting is because the cognition is not there. Even though we're hardwired for it and moving with the cognitive structure, on the other side, we're not aligned to that cognition. And so when we're not aligned to the cognition, simply there's the gears are not in place. When the gears are not in place, the friction starts to happen, the grinding starts to happen. And this grinding comes out as depression, as suicide, as anxiety, as all these things. So this is what I wanted to share about this topic. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Jnanatmayananda, would you like to share something on the same?
Nithyananda Maharaj, thank you. Yeah, as to how the Hindu civilization can be the only ancient living civilization, and how it could happen that youngsters, especially in Tamil Nadu, face, as Maharaj was mentioning, I believe it was more than 300 suicides per day. I mean, if we simply just look at even clear facts, the only civilization living 5,000 years ago and alive today is the Vedic Hindu civilization. So that's significant. There's a reason. Like, even if people wanted to look at reasons why civilizations collapse, then certainly there's reasons why civilizations don't collapse. There's just so much commentary about, this person is doing this thing wrong, or this group is giving this direction wrong, or these government officials are wrong, or these businesses are wrong, or this is unjust, or this is corrupt. There's a lot of discussion about that. But those same number of people that will stand up and say, I have the solution. I have a framework for everyone in the society. And it's proven. I have a proven history. We have answers. We have guidance for every aspect of society, including, empowerment of women, education of children, how to handle violence in a nonviolent way. None of those commentators stand up and say that. None of them will say, none will stand up and say, I have the solution for everyone. It's proven. It's the only sustainable way of living. It's the only way of living that has been recorded on planet Earth in the past more than 5,000 years. So those same number of people who will say, it's easy for us to say, this is wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. But where's the solutions? The number of people that are, prominent in media and social media saying, commentators on things, there's a plethora of problems, but not a single one of those people will stand up and say, I have the proven solution for everyone. So that's significant. In order to have a proven solution for every member of society, that would necessarily produce a civilization that's self-sustainable, that's non-destructive. And if we look in the history, just look at the history right now. There's only one civilization that has proven that ability. You even look at the hometown of Swamiji near Tiruvannamalai in the southern regions of India. The Tamil Sangam has a written history, a written documented history going back more than 11,000 years. So in this sense of one who renounced ignorance and inferiority is called a Hindu, it means you renounce ignorance. It means you renounce not knowing. No one on the planet is willing to do that. Almost no one on the planet is willing to stand up and say, I have the proven solution. And there's only one proven solution that has sustained more than 5,000 years. So Hindus have this great, one who renounced ignorance and inferiority is called a Hindu. The one who's called the Hindu is the one who renounces inferiority, the one who renounces powerlessness, of not knowing. So this science has been revealed through, if you made a list of the greatest, enlightened leaders, spiritual leaders who lived beyond the body, if you made a list of 1,000 of the greatest leaders of the past 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 years, they would vastly and almost entirely be from Vedic tradition. Even the living masters of recent times, Yogananda, Srila Prabhupada, Ramana Maharishi, Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, the list that is just in the last couple hundred years and just in a few seconds. So the one who renounced ignorance and inferiority is called a Hindu. It's the one who renounces not knowing. It's the one who renounces not knowing. These masters renounce not knowing as a science. It's not an accident. It's not an accident that we can know what is the purpose and meaning of life. It's not an accident. But if you ask the majority of people, what's the purpose of your life? What's the meaning of your life? The number of people who will not be able to answer that, is very prominent. So the one who renounced ignorance and inferiority is called a Hindu. That's what the Hindu gurus are. That's what the Hindu civilization is, the only proven solution. that's what Swamiji is reviving now through Sri Kailasa as a living incarnation, the only one taking that responsibility. So many things like this from tradition.
Yes. So thank you very much for sharing your insights on how the Sanatana Hindu Dharma and how Swamiji has been a powerful entity, a powerful reviver of this Kailasa, which is the solution for all Hindus at this point in time, for us to be able to revive this authentic Hindu civilization, for us to have the real truth about who we truly are, and giving us the legitimacy for us to live. And I thank once again Renosan and Nyatmananda for coming up on this panel and sharing. And now we are going to just look at a few more details on how there have been various different attacks that have been happening on the Hindu scriptures. 7 genocides of Kashmiri Pandits, 3 to 6 lakhs were brutally kicked out. Genocide of the Shivacharya in the Tamil Nadu under the atheistic government. Destruction of the Hindu universities and the libraries. The world's largest Tamil Hindu library, which is the Jaffna Public Library, was burnt. Here, you're looking at the 13,000 universities across Bharat, 100,000 gurukuls that were destroyed in just Bihar and Bengal alone. These are some of the ruins that you're able to see. The Nalanda, where 9 million books were burnt by the Islamic invader Bakhtiyar Khilji. The Nalanda University, Takshashila University, Vikramashila University, Telhar University. And all these manuscripts that are being taken away, being destroyed, burned down. Bhagavan Krishna says, Evam parat parat mitam rajyashtrayo viduhu sakale neha mahata yogo nashta parantapaha. The supreme science was thus received through the chain of master-disciple succession, and the saintly kings understood it in that way. In the course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it appears to have been lost. Over the period of time, with increasing consumerism, these life-positive values were diminished in all cultures. And as we saw, the reason for these truths were completely taken away. The negative context and the different cognitions were put in. Let's see how Kailasa is reviving this knowledge transmission system. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been reviving Kailasa, where the Hinduism has offered enormous activities and enormous things to the world in the fields of spirituality, economics, governments, technology, medicine, yoga, mathematics, physics.
Ten years ago, I had an unavoidable surgery which caused me to go blind in my right eye. For all these years, I have had no more than 5% vision in that eye. Just about 30 minutes ago, as I'm listening to these testimonials, I am looking at the hall and wondering why everything is looking so bright. I'm seeing so many more dimensions. So I put my hand over the left eye and saw for the very first time in 10 years colors and vision through my right eye.
Connecting with the divine with your eyes closed is meditation. Connecting with the divine, with your eyes open, is darshan. Come, let us all now move from meditation to darshan. Slowly, very slowly, please open your eyes.
முக்தி நெறி அறியாத மூர்க்கர்களை வேறறுத்து, முக்தி நெறி அறியாத மூர்க்கர்களை வேறறுத்து, பக்தி நெறி பரப்பி சைவத்தை யோக செய்து, பக்தி நெறி பரப்பி சைவத்தை யோக செய்து, அஞ்ஞான மலமறுத்து சிவமாக்கியமையாண்ட கைலாயம் தனிலுறையும் நித்யானந்த பரம்பொருளே, கைலாயம் தனிலுறையும் நித்யானந்த பரம்பொருளே. ஓம் நித்யானந்த பரமசிவோஹம், ஓம் நித்யானந்த பரமசிவோஹம், ஓம் நித்யானந்த பரமசிவோஹம், ஓம் நித்யானந்த பரமசிவோஹம். நெறியில்லா வாழ்வுதனில் புரளும் இம்மக்களுக்கு, நெறியில்லா வாழ்வுதனில் புரளும் இம்மக்களுக்கு, நெறியுடைய வேதத்தின் உட்பொருளை அறிவித்து, நெறியுடைய வேதத்தின் உட்பொருளை அறிவித்து, வீடு பேறு நாங்கள் அழைய விந்தைகள் செய்த கைலாயம் தனிலுறையும் நித்யானந்த பரம்பொருளே, கைலாயம் தனிலுறையும் நித்யானந்த பரம்பொருளே. ஓம் நித்யானந்த பரமசிவோஹம், ஓம் நித்யானந்த பரமசிவோஹம், ஓம் நித்யானந்த பரமசிவோஹம், ஓம் நித்யானந்த பரமசிவோஹம். பொய்யெல்லாம் மெய் என்று அஞ்ஞான திமிரேறி, பொய்யெல்லாம் மெய் என்று அஞ்ஞான திமிரேறி, பாவங்கள் பல செய்து கர்மங்களை மூட்டை கட்டி, பாவங்கள் பல செய்து கர்மங்களை மூட்டை கட்டி, பிறப்பெடுத்த பல உயிர்க்கு ஞானத்தை அருள வந்த கைலாயம் தனிலுறையும் நித்யானந்த பரம்பொருளே, கைலாயம் தனிலுறையும் நித்யானந்த பரம்பொருளே. ஓம் நித்யானந்த பரமசிவோஹம், ஓம் நித்யானந்த பரமசிவோஹம், ஓம் நித்யானந்த பரமசிவோஹம், ஓம் நித்யானந்த பரமசிவோஹம். மன்னதனில் பிறந்தெய்து மாண்டு விடும் உயிர்களுக்கு, மன்னதனில் பிறந்தெய்து மாண்டு விடும் உயிர்களுக்கு, எண்ணமிலா வாழ்வுரனை வாழ வைத்து சீர் செய்த, எண்ணமிலா வாழ்வுரனை வாழ வைத்து சீர் செய்த, சுண்ண வெந்நீரணியும் ஈசனே நேசனே, கைலாயம் தனிலுறையும் நித்யானந்த பரம்பொருளே, கைலாயம் தனிலுறையும் நித்யானந்த பரம்பொருளே. ஓம் நித்யானந்த பர
ॐ नित्यानन्देश्वर परमशिवसमारम्भाम् नित्यानन्देश्वरि पराशक्तिमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् I welcome you all with my love and respect. I welcome all the Sarvanyapeta Yajamans, Kartas, Sarovarithyahis, Shrimahans, Mahans, Kotari, Tanedar, visitors, viewers, NHU students, Gurukul students, Kailasas, ministers, ambassadors, diplomats, e-diplomats, citizens, consulate generals, Mantreshwaras, Vidyeshwaras, Ganeshwaras, Lokeshwaras, Astreshwaras, all of you with my love and respects and blessings. Paramashiva's message directly from Kailasa. Super determinism. The truth, reality about the super determinism is the message from Paramashiva, from Kailasa. Now, this is Anupaya, means you are all now getting initiated into this great realization. So understand, listen intensely, sincerely. This whole thing which Paramashiva is revealing now will become realization for you immediately. Cosmic cognition, verbalization, vocalization, visualization, mathematical calculation, rational analysis, analyzing rationally, all this put together is realization. I'm repeating, cosmic cognitions, powerful truths, cognizing inside you, and verbalization, vocalization, visualization, mathematical analysis, and logical rationalization. All these put together, maybe one more thing need to be added, memorization. Because all this just need to become part of your biomemory. All these put together is realization. Now, I am going to do all this inside you. This great sacred secret truth about the super determinism to do this initiation into you. So this become realization in you. See, the initiation, how just initiation can lead to realization is the science now I am telling you. me cognizing the cosmic truth and verbalizing it, vocalization. There's a difference between verbalization and vocalization. And visualization and mathematically analyzing it, logically rationalizing it, and making it as part of not just my biomemory, your biomemory also, memorization, all these put together, done inside this and inside you, is realization. I am describing precise initiation process. Now, the truths about superdeterminism. Listen carefully, intensely. Science of your individual self, Atman. Self. The more you understand the science of individual self, Atman, you will understand Paramatman, Paramashiva. More and more you understand the Pindanda, the more and more you will understand Brahmanda. Understand this truth. For example, if you think you don't have individual identity, you are just a mixture of the body, mind, the chemicals, hormones, thoughts, and just a mixture of this. Nothing separately more than this mixture exists in you. If you believe that, you will see the cosmos also same way. Oh, I'm just an impermanent things, mind, body, some hormones, chemicals, reactions, thoughts, ideas. And there is nothing more than this, higher than this exists in me, other than this impermanent mixture of impermanent things. If you feel, if you perceive you this way, you will see the cosmos. If you understand, at some point of time in your life, no, even when all these hormones, chemicals, body, mind, these ups, downs, all these impermanent things are not functioning, I am existing, I exist. So there is something more than this impermanent existence is in me. If you get the glimpse of, if you cognize that, if that hits your existence, the moment you know you have an existence, you may call it as identity or different words you may use. Pratyagatma Chaitanya Chakratam, conscious awakening, any word you may use. If you start understanding you exist more than these impermanent components, impermanent permutation combination, body mind. If you understand you exist more than this body mind complication, then you know the cosmos also has some Parameshwara, superior conscious existence, more than the permutation combination of impermanent things. More than these impermanent things, impermanent permutation combination, something exists. So if you understand your identity, you will understand the identity of Paramashiva, Parameshwara. In every level, whether the source, to realize the truth about the source, or to realize the truth about how everything functions. If you realize the truth about your source, you will realize the truth about the cosmic source. If you realize the truth about how you function, you will realize the truth about how cosmos functions. If you realize the truth, how you decide at various points in your life, you will know very clearly how cosmos decides at various times of the existence in every level. If you just understand you, you will understand cosmos. If you understand cosmos, you will understand you. The knowledge about the Atman is knowledge about the Paramatman. Experience about Atman is experience about Paramatman. Then listen sincerely. If you feel indigestion in your stomach, pain, gas, or stomach upset, how you take either banana or some laxative or haritaki or castor oil, clean yourself. Same way, if something is stuck in the cosmos, too heavy, it takes measurements, methods to clean itself. This pandemic which happened last 1 year almost is actually cosmos just cleaning itself. So understand, if you understand whatever is happening in you, you will understand what is happening in cosmos. If you understand what is happening in the cosmos, you will understand what is happening in you.
Atma Jnana is Paramatma Jnana. If you avoid knowledge about yourself, you will avoid the knowledge about the cosmos. If you feel ignorance is okay and keep yourself in delusion, you will be deluded about the cosmos also. Listen carefully. More and more clarity and understanding about your individual existence will help you to have cosmic existence. And one more thing, you need to know very clearly. Your individual soul experiences life at this moment, now, present moment. But what is happening in the present moment is not present moment. Listen carefully. Your present moment is how you feel about you subjectively plus what is happening in the present moment. Both together. Your present moment is not just what is happening to you. It is your experience about yourself plus your experience about what is happening plus what is actually happening. All the three put together. Because many times, what is happening, you may not be perceiving it as it is. Many times you perceive something as bad, but what is happening is actually good. After a few days, you will realize. That is one thing. Now understand the science of how your individual soul, Atman, experiences life, cosmos, reality, Paramatman. Listen carefully. This is very important truth. Now I am revealing. Present moment has three components. Now, as three components. One, your perception and experience about yourself. Subjective experience of yourself. Plus, your subjective experience of the reality. Plus, actual reality. All these three put together is your present moment. You always allow your perception about reality impact your experience about yourself. That is what I call powerlessness. Instead, allowing your perception, your experience about yourself to impact your perception about life and the reality itself is what I call powerfulness, power manifestation. Listen very carefully. I'll give you the example. I'll give you the example of me, my own life. Inside me, consciously, I perceive myself as Paramashiva. formless existence and the form. Exploding in bliss in his Vishwarupa. This subjective experience of me is impacting my subjective experience of this world, universe, and universe itself, reality itself. This is what I call powerfulness, the state of Paramashiva, space of Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva. Understand this. In normal powerless person, what is happening as reality, he always perceives powerlessly in his inner space and makes that impact his understanding, his experience about himself. That is powerlessness. Understand the difference between these two. I'll tell you with few more examples. I gave you this one example. I'll give you some more examples, one by one. Listen deeply, intensely. You can realize these truths now, because I am doing powerful cosmic cognition and cosmic verbalization, cosmic vocalization, cosmic visualization, and cosmic biomemorization and cosmic mathematical calculation, cosmic rational analyzation, making this whole thing not just inside me, inside you also, so that these truths become your realization. That is initiation. Listen intensely. If you operate with intense love, powerful cognitions like a love, compassion, joy, bliss, giving, the Ananta Kalyana Gunas of Paramashiva, you will expand so much. Your perception about you will expand. Your perception about life, reality will expand. Reality itself will expand. Understand? This is what I call life positive decisions. Actually, if you operate from this life positivity, even the chemicals and hormones your body secretes, manifests, strengthens your immune system. There are multiple tons of researches nowadays. If you just Google, you will find tons of proofs for what I am saying. If you operate what you consider as a love, joy, bliss, compassion, even that, the chemicals and hormones your body manifests, strengthens your immune system. And if you operate from the cosmic cognition of you are Paramashiva, the kind of the hormones and chemicals your body will manifest and the kind of The immune systems, the strength your immune system will feel, the strength you will experience is unimaginable. And I tell you, same way, every action you do, from fear, guilt, anger, anxiety, the kind of the hormones and chemicals you release inside your system breaks your system literally, breaks your nervous system and destroys your whole body and mind. That is why I insist, never ever operate out of powerlessness. Do not make decisions out of powerlessness. This pralaya, I tell you, this pralaya has literally broken so many people. I am so thankful to Paramashiva for protecting me and all the Sangha. It is pure grace of Paramashiva. We all got saved in this pralaya. Listen carefully. I only wanted to request all of you one thing. Do not make any decision to execute the decisions you made during pralaya. During pralaya, all the decisions you made, don't execute. Because all those decisions are out of powerlessness. When you were shaken, when you did not have trust on yourself, now the healing is happening, recovery is happening. Rebuild the trust, rebuild love, joy, bliss, powerfulness. Out of that new conscious being you are building, absolute life positivity, take decisions. Influence now. Influence the present moment. Be powerful over the present moment. Understand? Live in the present moment is not a complete truth. Have power over the present moment is the complete truth. The power of now is having power over now. Listen. Understand how you feel about you now and how you feel about the world now. Make that too powerful. If you understand and make yourself powerful, that you are Paramashiva, you will understand world is so auspicious and you are the power. Whatever you think, perceive, even as bad, was never bad, is never bad, will never be bad. It is your wrong perception is the problem. Delusion is the problem. Everything is happening properly. You just need to add more life positivity, more understanding. You just need to remember again and again, you are Paramashiva, and face everything out of strength and powerfulness. Now, the next truth. Listen. Sometimes you feel the world is literally falling. The roof is falling on your head. You are crushed. You are collapsed. The world is just sky is falling over your head. That is what is reality, and you perceive that as a reality about world, and that reality, that perception about the reality collapses your perception about yourself, and you collapse. That is what you call everything is determined, fate, nothing can be done. Sometimes you feel, wow, what I want is happening. So your perception about the world is what I want is happening. And the reality, what I want is happening. Oh, then everything is free will. We have full freedom. Listen, both are of understanding. Determination or free will, both are of understanding. Sometimes when things happen as you want, you feel, oh, life is free will. Sometimes when you feel things are not happening as you want and the roof is collapsing, crashing on your head, and you feel everything is predetermined. Now understand this truth. I'll give you one more example. If you are standing with both the legs, that's the way you experience reality. You raise one leg, that is your freedom. After that, you cannot raise the other leg also. That is determination. So understand, the choices you already made are binding your future freedom possibilities. The choices you already made are binding your future possibilities. This is when you feel whether life is free will or predetermined. Now, understand carefully. This whole satsang, I request you to watch at least 2-3 times, because every statement I made, every truth I revealed from the beginning of the satsang, I am putting the whole thing together and giving you the conclusion now. When you perceive the happenings of your life is against your will and collapse inside you, the way you perceive the world very negatively, and collapse your own identity about you and lose trust on you, when this happens, whether you made earlier some choices or not, you will feel bound. You will feel life is predetermined. There is no free will. Life is unfair, injustice, adharma. It is all just might is right. People who have power, they grab everything. Nothing is right. It's all chaos. There is no order. And at some moment, when things happen as you want in the outer world, and your perception about the world is little better, you feel, free will is life. There is a possibility. I can recreate, rebuild. Life has some hope. But please understand, both are of truth. Why even the idea of free will is of truth? Because you feel relieved, hope, because of outer world happening. But the real truth is, if you decide to cognize the truth, you are Paramashiva, Paramatma, ultimate powerfulness, subjectively about you. From that subjective truth, if you understand your perception about the world and impact the world, that is called superdeterminism. Listen. I am answering one of the biggest problem of the world. Vidya, Madhya. Predetermined or free will. Vidiyum alla, Madhiyum alla. Unmai, Pasupadiye. Pasupadiye unmai ena purindal. Vidya, Madhya enum kelviye unakkedirai nee seidu konda sadiye endru puriyum. Vidya, Madhya enum kelviye unakkedirai nee seidu konda sadiye ena puriya vaikkum Paramapadiye unmayana Vidya, Madhya enum sadikku தீர்வு. Understand? Whether life is predetermined or free will, the superdeterminism is the truth. Answer for the question whether life is free will or predetermined is life is superdeterminism. Neither predetermined nor free will. It is superdeterminism. Understand? Empowering yourself with the truth, reality. You are Paramashiva. You are the ultimate Paramatma. And from that truth, reality, making your perception about life, and with that strength of your subjective truth about yourself and your subjective experience about the world, impacting the world, the reality is superdeterminism. This is the real way of existing. This is what I call freedom. Freedom is not choices. Freedom is manifesting the reality you want to manifest. Listen. When you subjectively decide to cognize the truth, you are Paramashiva, you will see that super power of coincidence place in your life, and you manifest super determinism. I'll give you one example. For example, Jnanatma has some mood swing. She goes and creeps to Prematma. It's not that if Prematma does not tell me, I will not know. I know what Jnanatma goes through directly, but if Prematma comes and tells me, she becomes very intimate and integrated to me and helps Jnanatma, so I can directly deal and make Jnanatma understand and realize the problems she need to attend. I can support. Listen to this truth. It's not that if Prematma does not tell me, I will not know. But by telling, Paramatma has helped me to heal Jnanatma. Otherwise also, I know what goes on and then I will do cosmically what need to be done. I will attend everyone. I will heal everyone. I will work on everyone. I tell you, once I read a book, Vivekananda's book, where for some reason he makes a statement like even if you apply Vibhuti or Urtobundra all over the body, you will not become great or enlightened, you will not achieve anything. For some reason, he makes this statement in some context. From the young age, I was brought up in a very traditional Shaivite way. And I have read in multiple scriptures, just by applying Bhasma, you will achieve Paramagadi, Shivagadi. And I was that kind of a person. So when I read these words, it hurt me very deeply. I ran to Arunagiri Yogeshwara. That time I was having physical darshan of Arunagiri Yogeshwara. I ran to him to ask for clarification. He said two things. One, even if you find Sampradaya Veda, never ever criticize the Guru Parampara. Already I was very connected to Ramakrishna, Vivekananda books. I used to read even at the age of 10. My Chitti used to give me the books. So I used to read, and Kuppamal herself used to give books. So he made a statement, never criticize Guru Parampara. That's one. Never disrespect Guru Parampara. If you feel there is a Sampradaya Veda, there is a conflict. You should just have patience to digest and wait for the clarity to happen. That is one. Second, he said, when you are feeling the pain, you should always tell your Guru. He said, you did the best thing, you came and told me. You should not be having this stupid mentality if I can deal it by myself. You won't be able to deal, and the decisions you make when you think you can deal it by yourself will be extremely destructive for you. He told me very clearly. By telling this to me, you found a solution. Many times we think, oh, Swamiji knows everything. Why should I tell? Understand, I know it. But only by verbalizing, you will come out of it. You will have the clarity. That is why I insist. I give you two methods for you to achieve the super determinism. One, deciding to cognize your Paramashiva, because that is the truth. That's the truth. And face your inner space, your perception about life and the life reality itself. With this truth, I am Paramashiva. This is what is having power over now. Life, reality. That's first. Second, always tell everything to your Atmamurti. You can pray, you can cry, you can express your frustration, you can express your joy, you can express your gratitude, you can even fight. Do everything with your Atmalinga and Atmamurti. Everything. Continuously talking to your Atmalinga and Atmamurti will give you the power to manifest what you want. Shakti. And Buddhi to change wherever you need to change. Above all, Bhakti, the romantic existence with cosmos. You will get all three. Constantly talk to Atmalinga and Atmamurti. Today I open the doors of Kailasa. You can send any message you want 24/7 to HDH, SPH, Facebook profile and page, both. I will attend to it personally, directly in your life. Don't expect I'll be responding in messenger back. But I'll respond in your life directly. It's my commitment. I'll give you Shakti, manifest. Shakti to manifest what do you want to manifest. Buddhi, knowledge, wherever you need to alter what do you want. If you need to alter the knowledge, Buddhi, and above all, Bhakti. Extreme life positive, joyful connection with the life, Bhakti. And Yukti, method to live enlightenment, Mukti, enlightenment itself. Shakti, Bhukti, Bhakti, Yukti, Mukti. You will get all five by constantly talking to your Atmalinga and Atmamurti. And now this Nithyananda Paramashivam Facebook page and profile, both I am opening it. You can send continuously any message you want. You can go on be talking to me 24/7. I will attend to it directly in your life personally. Do not expect the response in messenger, in writing. I'll give the response in your life directly. Listen. Take these two as the method to achieve super determinism. One, decide to come to the powerful conclusion you are Paramashiva because that is the truth. Om Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Second, continuously talk to Atmalinga or Atmamurti. You can offer your prayers. You can talk even casual things. You can express your love, gratitude, even anger. You can fight. You can express your frustration. You can do anything you want. And I commit with you, I will respond to you immediately. I'll give you what you want. Shakti, to manifest your life as you want. Buddhi, intelligence to alter. If at all you need to alter somewhere your wants for your greater, better, complete life. And above all, bhakti, a life positive, joyful connection with life, reality, cosmos, with everything, with yourself, with world, with God, everything. And yukti, method to live enlightenment. And mukti, enlightenment itself.
this too, take this as an initiation for expressing super determinism. Listen. Listen to the truth. Next few days satsang, I'm going to explain the super determinism, because if you understand super determinism, you will be out of all delusions. As you all may be knowing that last few days I am explaining about creation phase of Paramashiva and maintenance phase of Paramashiva, destruction phase of rejuvenation phase of Paramashiva. Now I am explaining the method to get out of delusion, the Trobhava. This is the satsang related to getting out of delusion, that dimension of Paramashiva. Next, I will talk about liberation in further satsangs. And my blessings for all the Paramashivoham season 25 participants. All the participants, I am initiating all of you to experience Paramashivoham. Blessings to all of you. I am initiating all of you into Paramashivoham. Today, every truth I revealed is independently intelligent and capable enough of giving you enlightenment. I defined what is realization, initiation. First, what is realization? Then, what is initiation? Then, what is super determination? And two methods for super determination. The methodless method for super determination and power of now. How the power of now, living in the present moment, how it should be understood. See, if you are collapsing in the present moment, you will not live in the present moment. Only if you have power over the present moment, you will live in the present moment. Many times, we antagonize the present moment so badly, we feel whole life is negative. You hate everyone, everything, frustrated. And you become angry with the whole life. Then you cannot live in the present moment. Second, next thing, sometimes you feel present is just the way for a future. So you always feel, I will be happy sometime when that happens. Till then, I will tolerate the present. Even if you are in the mood of tolerating the present, you will not live in the present. The only way to live in the present is having power over the present. That can happen only if you decide, I am Paramashiva. And with that powerfulness, I will perceive the reality, this world's experience about me. With that powerfulness, I will impact the reality itself. I tell you, I wanted to honestly open up and tell you this truth. When the persecution started on me, when they were trying to assassinate and lawfare and try to eliminate me illegally and legally, when all this started, it's not that I know the whole larger vision of life. No, I want to tell you the honest truth.
I only know one thing. I will not question my Guru. I am a pure, chaste disciple to my Guru, Paramashiva, Arunagiri Yogishwara. So when he need to explain to me, he will explain. When he need to reveal why this is happening to me, he will reveal. Till then, I will neither question the reality happening, nor question my Guru why it is happening. Neither I will allow powerlessness, nor I will allow any doubt, powerlessness, anything between me and my Guru, between me and this world. No. My Guru is my Guru, and he does best. He knows best. He is protecting me. He is himself manifesting in me. That I am very clear. I will not question any of this. And I will not even question when you are manifesting through me why this is happening. No. When, if needed, he will explain to me why this is happening. If not, just keep quiet till he explains. That's it. I tell you, now I know the whole thing. Not only he explained why all that was happening, and he made what is the large reality he need to manifest through me, he manifested. I feel without those so-called attacks and persecution, the real manifestation now Paramashiva is doing, what need to be done, may not have even happened. Who knows? All that also may be part of this larger vision. So I am nobody to justify. I am nobody to judge. Anything right, wrong, good, bad, no. I know only one thing. I am a chaste, pure, humble, obedient, honest, integrated disciple to my Guru. That's it. No questions asked. Only the sweet romance. I want to tell you this one thing. Raghupati Yogi is a great yogi. Very rare to see is bhakti dimension. He is very secretive about his devotion, bhakti dimension. Once he and me, we both went to my aunt's village. He took me to a temple which is in my aunt's village. That village is called Kuvanur. We went to one Vishnu temple. It's called Adi Thiruvarangam. And then another one Shiva temple which is in that village Kuvanur. We went to both the temples and we stayed 1 or 2 days with my aunt, pre-monastic aunt. And he used to stay in the temple and I'll stay in the house and go also to temple to be with him. And few days, one of my aunt's relative, of course, my pre-monastic relative also, his name is Paramashivam. He had 2 wives. One wife is from Tiruvannamalai. First wife did not have a child, so they did a second marriage. In those days, it's a tradition. When first wife doesn't have a child, they will have a second marriage done. But after the second wife came and second wife gave birth to a child, first wife also gave birth to a child. So they both lived happily. That's not a big problem. Maybe small little, some problems will be there, usual, the household issues, but there is no Big issue. They both lived in the same house. But the second wife is a very sweet person. She will always keep herself very happy and very matured and such a welcoming way, not only for her husband, for the whole family. So when we went there, he came to that second wife's house. She gave food for me and my guru, and she took care of everyone. After we came to temple, Raghupati Yogi told me, understand how she keeps herself happy, makes everyone feeling welcomed. Keep your heart like that same way for Paramashiva. Always make sure you are the second wife for him, who is waiting for him to come to your heart to reside. Never ever any complaining or ill feeling or incompletion can enter into your heart. He gave a very beautiful example. It's very rare Raghupati Yogi talks about bhakti because he is a great yogi. I have heard only the teachings of yoga from him. Very rarely I heard the teachings related to bhakti. This was very beautiful and strong instruction. From that time, I always keep myself, my heart, as a space for Paramashiva. When he comes, no questions asked. It's a place where he enjoys. I am in absolute peace, bliss, joy, just to make Paramashiva feel welcomed in my heart. The saucha of the body means cleanliness of the body, hygiene of the body. Santosha of the heart, both to invite Paramashiva, welcome Paramashiva, and for him to be happy, blissful. That's it. I can say, just imbibe these few truths. You will manifest super determinism immediately. Let me define super determinism once more. Not being bound by the idea of predetermined or free will or the bondages you experience because of the choices you made earlier. Free from all. The idea of predetermination, the idea of free will, the idea of feeling bound because of the choices you made earlier, an idea of choice and choicelessness, free from all, is super determinism. See, even if you feel you are bound, now your choices are less because of the choices you made earlier, that is like a karma bandha. Your past is impacting the present. But in pure super determinism, you retain the cake and eat and distribute. You don't need to choose whether to keep or eat. You can keep, eat, and distribute. That is super determinism. Super determinism means not being bound by the laws of the predetermination or the laws of the free will or the idea of you are bound partially because of the earlier choices and decisions you made, choice and choicelessness, all these ideas doesn't bind you. Nothing binds you. You continue to make decisions and continue to retain your full powerfulness and freedom absolutely. It's possible. You can make so many decisions. You can get involved with anything, any level, but you will not be bound. You will have your absolute freedom, absolute involvement and absolute freedom. Both. That is what I call super determinism. It is possible and it is reality. And with this, I initiate all of you into this great truth and reality and power of super determinism. I bless you all. Let's all radiate with integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching, causing, living Paramadvaita, Shuddhadvaita Saivam. The space, the state, space, powers, being and superconsciousness and Kailasa of Paramashiva, Paramashivoham, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, the eternal bliss, Nithyananda. Thank you. Be blissful.
श्रीकैलास तद्वादशान्तश्यामलापीठारूढ श्रीमीनाक्षिसुन्दरेश्वरा भिन्नस्वरूप परशिवपुत्ररत्न कुमार गुरुमण्यतुल्यावतार श्रीपार्वतीस्तन्यपानलब्धदिव्यज्ञान विश्रुतसकलनिगमागमसारभूतद्राविडवेदप्रवक्त्रे श्रीमत्परमशिवकरुणासमधिगतमुक्तामयचतुरश्रयान् गीयमानछत्रचामर श्रीचिह्नकाहलादिसमस्तबिरदावल्यलङ्कृत ज्ञानविज्ञानचक्रवर्ती सर्वजनसङ्घसद्यो निर्वाणदीक्षाव्ययापवर्गवर्ष विश्राण जीमूत परमतकलभकेसरी शैवसिद्धान्तस्थापनाचार्य श्रीराजाधिराजपाण्ड्यमहाराजगुरु क्षपणशाक्यादिमहान्धकारनिवारणज्ञानभानु वीक्षणानर्हार्हध्वजोच्छेदनपूर्वक श्रीमद्वृषभध्वजस्थापक शैवसमयकर्त्रे सर्वज्ञपीठारूढ श्रीजगद्गुरु श्रीज्ञानसम्बन्धदेशिकस्वामि वागीशसुन्दरमाणिक्यवाचकस्वामिनाम् अवतारभूत श्रीज्ञानसम्बन्धस्वामि पुनरुद्धृत श्यामलापीठ सर्वज्ञपीठ त्रिनवत्युत्तरद्विशततम गुरुमहासन्निधान अरुणगिरियोगीश्वर परम्परागत अरुणाचल सर्वज्ञपीठ गुरुमहासन्निधान कैलास परम्परागत काञ्ची कैलास सर्वज्ञपीठ त्रयस्त्रिंशदुत्तरद्विशततमगुरुमहासन्निधान नित्योत्सव नित्यमङ्गल नित्यकल्याण नित्यरजित कैलास परम्परागत आदिकैलास नित्यानन्दपीठ महासंस्थान महासिंहासन पीठकर्तः साक्षात् श्रीपरमशिव समुद्भूत कैलास परम्परागत वैवस्वतमनु इक्ष्वाकु हरिश्चन्द्र भगीरथ श्रीरामचन्द्र शूरसेन इत्यादि अनवच्छिन्न सार्वभौम चक्रवर्ति परम्परागत चतुष्षष्टि योगिनी मण्डित चतुष्षष्टि सम्प्रदाय प्रवर्तक मनुधर्म शासन सूर्यवंश प्राप्त सर्वज्ञपीठ सुराङ्गि साम्राज्य मूर्धाभिषिक्त चूडामणे साक्षात् श्री परमशिव समुद्भूत कपिल महागुरु पुनरुद्धृत महानिर्वाणिपीठ अष्टोत्तर सहस्र श्री महामण्डलेश्वर साक्षात् श्री परमशिव सिंहासनाभिषिक्त समस्त गणनायक श्री महागणपति समारंभ अनवच्छिन्न पीठाधीश्वर गुरुपरम्परा प्राप्त अटल पीठ अष्टोत्तर सहस्र श्री अटल पीठाधीश्वर धर्म मुक्ति स्वर्गपुर स्वर्ण पीठ त्रयोविंश गुरु महासन्निधान कैलास परम्परागत आदिपीठ सर्वज्ञ पीठ जगद्गुरो श्री कैलास पुनरुद्धारक श्री कैलास परमाचार्य
Nithyananda Paramashivam under the guidance of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. Let's start with the Sadguru Vandanam. Nithyanandam Paramasukhanam Kevalam Jnanamurtam Dvandvatītam Gaganasadasham Dattamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Nirmalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatītam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Let's go through the disclaimers. Security measures. No photography, video, audio recording. Important cautions. Please be aware of the important cautions. What is spa manifestation? Let's hear from Bhagavan himself explaining what is spa manifestation.
All the 25 states of consciousness, when they happen in you, due to your chemicals and hormones ups and downs, it is powerlessness. When it happens in you, out of your free will and consciousness, it is powerfulness. That's all. When you fall into sleep, it is powerlessness. When you enter into sleep, it is powerfulness. When you fall into dream, it is powerlessness. When you decide to dream, it is power. So I've added the ultimate powerfulness, Turiyatita, in your whole being and doing, manifest all the powers. Understand, power manifestation is nothing but cognitive shift. It is not work. It is cognitive shift. Understand? It is just cognitive shift. It's not work. Work is a four-letter word. Power manifestation is cognitive shift. Playing with, being alive. Static matter, dynamic activity, strategic existence, all these three has no boundary. You are one with it. You are alive in everything. Everything listens to you. Everything decides as you want. Power manifestation is cognitive shift, raising your frequency, not work.
Now let's understand who is Paramashiva. Bhagavan himself has beautifully explained the Paramashiva in all of us.
Paramashiva does manifestation, maintenance, rejuvenation, coming out of delusion and liberation. He resides in his supreme Paramashiva Swarupa as Ajomuha, Radhomuha, unborn, beyond form, formlessness. Is Paramashiva Swarupa. That Paramashiva Swarupa manifests with these 5 faces as Sadashiva, Tatpurusha, Vamadeva, Ahora, Satyojata, Ishana. 5 faces he manifests and does the Panchakritya, Srishti, manifestation, Sthiti, sustenance, Samhara, rejuvenation, Prabha, Anugraha, liberation. Understand? He does all these 5 jobs. Through these 5 phases. Now listen carefully. Tatpurusham, Vamadevam, Satyojatam, Ahoram, Ishanam. These 5 phases. Thus Panchakrityas. Each phase, each dimension is not just one FACE phase, PHASE phase. It's not just FACE, PHASE. Understand? The creation. Not just creation getting created. Even sustenance need to be created. Destruction need to be created. And pulling out of delusion need to be created. Liberation need to be created. Then creation, manifestation need to be maintained. Maintenance, sthiti itself need to be maintained. Destruction, samhara, the rejuvenation need to be sustained, maintained when it is happening. Pulling out of delusion, drubhava, need to be maintained when it is happening. And anugraha, liberation, need to be maintained when it is happening. Those micromilliseconds when it is happening. So understand, Satyojata Murti has 5 phases. Ishana Murti has 5 phases. Vamadeva Murti has 5 phases. Agora Murti has 5 phases. Tatpurusha Murti has 5 phases. So, Tatpurusha Murti has his 5 phases. Agora Murti has his 5 phases. Vamadeva Murti has his 5 phases. Satyojata Murti has his 5 phases. Ishana Murti has his 5 phases. All these 5 Murtis, 5 phases put together is 25 phases of Mahasadashiva.
Bhagavan beautifully explained Paramashiva. Now, who is His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam? Let's hear from Bhagavan himself.
Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Nithyananda Paramashivam, is a reviver of KAILASA, the ancient Enlightenment civilization, the great cosmic borderless Hindu nation. His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam is an author from and is a Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. He has made the science of manifestation, yoga, temple-based university for humanity. So with an order of His Divine Holiness, so with an order of KAILASA led by His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, and Nithyananda monks, order of monks, nuns, Hindu diasporas are working for the global peace to give a superconscious breakthrough to humanity. Nithyananda Hindu University, world's largest extended campus in 150 countries, is collecting, organizing, preserving, time capsuling, decoding, spreading, and reviving 20 million source book of Hinduism. 64 sacred arts, science like Ayurveda, music, dance, sculpting, astrology, Vastu, and many more. His Divine Holiness Nithyananda Paramashivam is 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Shamala Pita Sarvanya Pita, ancient apex body of Hinduism, and present Emperor of Suryavamsa Surangam. His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam has survived the worst prosecution of multiple assassination attempts on person and character by anti-Hindu element. Bhagavan has beautifully given the pramanas. Pramanas are the evidences in different levels for us to understand power manifestation as being the way people existed on planet Earth, how they determined their reality. The super determination happens when you manifest your reality. And here, the science of our manifestation is authentic, time-tested, and foolproof. The Shakshi Pramana, the evidences from the Shastras, which are the eternal, unchangeable truths, which is revealed in the source scriptures, the Vedas and the Agamas. The Atma Pramanas are the experience and the results of the Rishis, Munis, Ganas, Nanamas, Alvars, Siddhas, who all lived on planet Earth, who manifested all these powers of Paramashiva, and it is scientific and time-tested and foolproof. The Atma Pramana, account of His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, this millennium's avatar's personal experience, the Bhagavan's very own Leelas. Shakshi Pramanas are the experience of millions of disciple devotees and followers all over the world who have experienced the science of our manifestation initiated by Bhagavan himself. Pratyaksha Pramana, scientific study, measuring the effect of being in the enlightened state. Bhagavan has beautifully given us the evidences in different levels that this is a possibility how we can live as superconscious being. And Bhagavan has given the Shastra Pramana explaining in detail how we can manifest these powers as our reality. Let's move to the Shastra Pramana to experience the science of power manifestation.
क्षणातक्षीणाशयो भवेत् आतने शयने स्थित्वा निराधारं विभावयन् स्वदेहं मनसि क्षीणे क्षणातक्षीणाशयो भवेत्.
Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, Sutra 82, Dharana 57. Bhagavan Paramashiva says, being situated on a comfortable seat or on a bed, firmly cognize that your own body is without any support or the base from anywhere. It is resting on nothing. By holding this cognition, when the mind becomes own away and thoughtlessness arise, then the instant one becomes the weightless and experience the space beyond the mind, the space of Paramashiva. Bhagavan has explained how we can be in complete the power over now, and how he has given in step by step. He was talking about maintenance, creation, maintenance, and now the regeneration process, now the pulling out of delusion. And he gives multiple levels for us to understand the power over now, how we can have the power over now just by declaring, I am Paramashiva, I reside in the space of Paramashiva, and Paramashiva will manifest as my reality. Again and again going into that beautiful space and not driven by the free will or the choices we made or the all the reality which is happening in front of us, whatever is going on, being determined in the space that we are Paramashiva, again and again and again he repeated, and holding a beautiful space and not getting more and more cluttered. He's explained in different levels for us to understand how we can manifest our reality, which is the struggle day in and day out. We keep getting confused how to manifest reality. He's asking us to live as a Paramashiva, or he's asking us to work and go do things and take care of a home. Beautiful example, Janaka. Janaka was the greatest emperor. He had his own daughter as Devi Sita and his son-in-law as God himself, Rama. So how did he run the whole Janaka emperor that he was ruling? And he has to make decision, not a simple decision. He has to put somebody, hanged somebody, or give something for somebody. Lot of things he has to make, a very difficult decision according to us, and so many confusion and so many chaos in a country he has to support. He has to wage a war. And he says, when he was asked, Sukha Brahma asked him, and he says, it is as simple as you go and have a begging bowl and beg. I don't find it, because I'm not anyway related to anything happen. It is only the manifestation of Paramashiva which I just enjoy with him, the whole thing that is happening around me. Such a beautiful space. Vyasa sense Sukha is enlightened. You need a guru to tell you you are enlightened. That is the ultimate source. And he sends to Sukha Brahma. Vyasa sends Sukha to Janaka to realize that even the chaos going on in the world, you can reside in the space of Paramashiva. You can function everything beautifully just residing where you are. That beautiful space is how you are experiencing the world. If you experience Paramashiva as the greatest space, you will not be bothered about anything. Bhagavan gave a beautiful example. When you're in deep love with something, the first love, you forget everything and you are residing in that love. He asks you to go deeper in that. And the love that we express on ourselves, if we know ourselves, the deep space of love, gratitude that we have for ourselves, we will understand the space around us also the same way. The more and more you enjoy yourself being in that pure space of oneness, you will enjoy everybody in that space. You have frustration and you enjoy frustration, you will see everybody as frustrated and more confused and chaos. You enjoy your space of Paramashiva. Even if frustration is going on around you, it will settle down. Whatever is happening, Bhagavan says, write to me, it will settle down, I'll take care. He gives multiple levels for us to understand. And he says the final thing, the pure space that we need to hold for Paramashiva to reside in us, for Paramashiva to happen in us, even if the reaction is happening continuously. The reaction is happening because we get carried on with what is happening more than what we cherish, the Paramashiva space. If we cherish more, exaggerate on Paramashiva space, then the whole thing which is the outer world becomes irrelevant and redundant, and we keep going on with the space, waiting for the whole thing to settle down so that you can start seeing how much the manifestation Paramashiva is going to happen. All the chaos that we have done, it settles down. It will be such a pure space for us to manifest our reality. Powerful initiation, powerful cognition in multiple levels, multiple layers that Bhagavan has given. Now let's go to the Apta Pramana. The Rishis, Munis, Ganas, Nainamas, Alvars, Siddhas, all of them lived these great cognition, manifesting the ultimate. And especially Krishna Avatar, he has done the ultimate possibility of a human body that can really do all the powers he had shown in the planet Earth. When Indra showered and made the flood happen, Krishna just lifted the whole mountain and took all the whole villages to stand under that mountain, and he is able to lift it in just his small finger. What is he telling us? Making us understand, even as big as a mountain, it does not matter. When you are in the space of Paramashiva, it's just a joy celebration. With Krishna, anything that was happening, such a traumatic war, but everything happened in a celebration. We do not find it so difficult, but we find it only such a auspiciousness and such a beautiful space of oneness. Even in our life, Bhagavan says we are constantly in the Mahabharata war, but we forget that we are in the Krishna side, and he is the one who's manifesting our life, and he will do it exactly what we want. We just tell the Atmalinga, and exactly he will manifest all our reality and much more than what we can think of. That's why Bhagavan Krishna is a charioteer for Arjuna, who's totally confused to know what to do, what not to do. Is it right? Is it wrong? Can I kill somebody? Anything that is a chaos, but Krishna beautifully holds him and manifests all the reality what he wanted. Just because he said, whatever chaos, whatever confusion, I have Krishna in my side. The Narayana space that he exaggerated. Sudama was in such a space, there is nowhere in the reference that Krishna had a tears in his eyes. Only the reference was when he saw Sudama, his eyes rolled and there was tears in his eyes. Not because of anything, but how in the world, with so much of poverty and confusion and chaos and all the hatred and frustration, Sudama just stayed in only oneness with Krishna. How can he be doing that? That space, how Bhagavan said, that second wife, how she stayed in a space of always carrying the joy and bliss for the family. Sudama did that, and when Krishna saw that in Sudama, simply he showered and he did the puja, pada puja to him, and said the whole Vrindavan is blessed because this poorest Brahmin came into Vrindavan. He said the whole Vrindavan is blessed. That is possible when we have the clean space and determinism that Bhagavan will manifest my reality. Bhagavan is where I reside. Whatever happens, good or bad, it is not happening to me. Bhagavan beautifully says, whatever happens, a fire scene or a flood does not touch the screen. Same way, it does not touch us, Bhagavan clearly has said. So why am I constantly giving power to which doesn't have power and getting confused with the whole reality? Instead, the power that is really there by nature is the very own space of Paramashiva in us, his deep love and compassion space, uncompromisable compassion that he is flooding on all of us every single day with a darshan, diksha, initiation, for us to become like Krishna and lift all that what we are going through and just be in the joy of oneness with Paramashiva. Let's go to the instruction for power manifestation. The Apta Pramana, Atma Pramana that Bhagavan has given so many Pramanas for us to understand the greater reality. The guidelines, now we're going to have an object or ourselves to levitate. You can have the camera, make sure there is no sharp object or something will topple down. Have a strong bed and make sure you're comfortably sitting on it. Make a bed and then sit on it so that you're not going to get hurt by levitation. You can have an object also which you can start moving. You can have it on a silicone also completely. So now, if you have Jnananjan, you can apply in your third eye and your temples. Once the cushions are safe and fine, there is no sharp object or anything next to you, no power cord or cable or anything. You're so comfortable on the bed. Now, if you can sit in Padmasana, that will be wonderful. And if you can have the Chim Mudra that Bhagavan always holds, you can see in the picture also. If you can have that, that's beautiful. Now, whatever body is moving, just let it happen in you. And if it is levitating, that is wonderful. If you have an object, you're levitating the object, that is also beautiful if it is started to move. It is an experience of Paramashiva space manifesting in you right now, the power over now that Bhagavan has given as a greatest initiation, greatest thought current, and powerful cognition for us to manifest the reality. Now, let's sit straight with the head, neck, and spine in a straight line. And remember Paramashiva in your third eye. Constantly, when we bring Paramashiva to a third eye, we are in deep oneness with Paramashiva. All that we do is forget Paramashiva in whatever we are manifesting continuously. If we bring Paramashiva, he will manifest and we can enjoy the whole presence of Paramashiva. We all came to celebrate Paramashiva in the oneness space. Let's get to that beautiful space. Head, neck, and spine in a straight line. Sit straight on the comfortable cushion. If you're not able to sit down, it's okay. You can sit on the chair. That's perfectly fine. You are Paramashiva in any state. Even if in deep coma, you're Paramashiva. So Paramashiva does not change. How we perceive our reality, that's all Bhagavan says. We have to perceive that I am Paramashiva, the beautiful oneness with Paramashiva, and manifesting all the powers of Paramashiva. And absolute unclutching from everything that we know as our identity. That is the most important. When you are in a dream, you have so many identity, but when you wake up, you do not care for that one bit. You don't want to waste even 1 minute to remember all those things. Same way, all that what you're going through, last birth, you did not remember. Same way, this birth also, nothing matters. Only Paramashiva is going to come with you eternally. So that is the most important space, and realize that is your space, not somebody's space. It's your space of who he is inside you, simply talking to you, responding to you, happening in your life. So only reside in that. Tell everybody, if you have a meeting with president, your country's president, how much you will be so aware, alive, and with all your ears and everything open. Now you're with Paramashiva, much more than that. So be in that space of oneness with Paramashiva. Continuously unclutch and tell the mind, you are a processor, do your job. Don't give me your opinion, ideas, and views. I'm not going to listen for some time. I'm going to reside with Paramashiva. Do the Thyaga that I am Paramashiva. That is the highest space. You recognizing your higher identity is the Thyaga, that you are Paramashiva. And the Bhava, how Bhagavan enjoys when he speaks about Arunagiri Yogeshwara, or how you enjoy Bhagavan speaking about Arunagiri Yogeshwara, or your name, or your Diksha, your comment, anything that you experience when he utters those words, or you experience the ultimate, the Shaktipada. Get yourself the pure space, the clean space inside you where he can reside, the pure love that you have for no reason. Who you are, nothing can change that. Nothing can touch that. That is what who you are, the highest space. Each one of you are deities experiencing that, have forgotten that. Now Bhagavan is reminding us to experience that very core space of us. Now, with the deep oneness space, start chanting and vibrating with the Mahavakya. Each of the time you're calling your Mahavakya, you're calling your God in you, and you're raising yourself into that space. It's like somebody call your name when you're sleeping, you will wake up. Same thing, you're calling the God in you and you're waking up to the reality. Again and again, chant the Mahavakya, very powerful, because that is what who you are. And you will experience that oneness each time you call him inside you. And let's chant the Mahavakya and experience oneness and start recording the whole thing that you can share. If you could share, that will be beautiful at the end of the session. Now let's sit straight, visualize Bhagavan in third eye and experience the oneness, and let's see what all Bhagavan manifests through us. Start chanting the Mahavakya.
Very complete.
Nityananda
Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivam. Nithyananda Paramashivam. Nithyananda Paramashivam. Nithyananda Paramashivam. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva stir manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva stir manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Nityananda 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 Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's light manifest in all our burdens. Let the Amrita pour, let the Bhakti open up. Nityananda Paramashivoham. Nityananda Paramashivoham. Nityananda Paramashivoham. Nityananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's light manifest in all our burdens. Let the Amrita pour, let the Bhakti open up, manifest in all of us. Overflow, manifest the powers in all our burdens. Nityananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's light manifest in all our burdens. Let the Amrita pour, let the Bhakti open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the power in all our third eye. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Beautiful. Whatever you have experienced, whatever pictures you have taken, you can collect it. Again, we'll have one more cycle. If you have not manifested, or you feel I'm not manifesting, I have too much of chaos and confusion going on in life, again, where are you? The power of now is the experience that you have, and that penetrating through all that you're going through in the outer reality. That is what Bhagavan said. That is what I do as I am Paramashiva. Again and again, where your experience with Paramashiva, experience the oneness with Paramashiva, your manifestation, be in that and penetrate all the delusion. Bhagavan is asking us to pull ourselves back to where we belong and not get deluded by whatever is going on because it's joyous, because of what's happening, because of so many things, and have that pure space. You decide in determination that the pure space of oneness is the most important space, and Paramashiva residing that space and manifesting my reality. Again and again, go back to that very space, very core space, hold on to that, have the space of oneness with Paramashiva and chant the Mahavakya. By doing that, you're solving all your problems because we are not adding more chaos. If a dish is completely messed, we don't add more salt, more confusion. What will happen? It'll be more mess. Instead, you remove it from the fire and see how you can make it much better. The same thing in our life, how we are more overcooked, over burnt, over salted, over everything is chaos. Now at least let us give few minutes in our life only to the space of Paramashiva and see what happens and how he can manifest our reality. Even Bhagavad Gita says, even a little, Bhagavan says, even a little, if we experience the Paramashiva, that's enough for us to manifest the flood of reality, which is auspiciousness. Even if we have a little thought, hey, I am Paramashiva, why am I struggling? Even that thought is going to take us so much good. Only thing, deciding to reside in that thought, the power over now happens. So let's again make sure we are comfortable. There is nothing next to us, and sit and see if you're levitating on the in the body, your movement is happening, or you're levitating off the ground. That's wonderful. Or the object that you have kept started moving. Please make sure your video recording all these great moments, because you have shifted in your cognition. It happens as a reality. How you go to a comedy club, a click happens and you laugh for the joke. Same thing, when your powerful cognition clicks with you, you start manifesting powers. So let's sit straight, remember Paramashiva in your third eye, and start chanting the Mahavakya. Your Jatagni means your navel simply starts offering. When you offer the Mahavakya, it starts manifesting as powers. And from your navel, start chanting the Mahavakya with a deep listening. Let's start again for the next cycle. Simply whatever Bhagavan wants to manifest, let him manifest. Let's have simple obedience, simple integrity, just to reside in the space, I am Paramashiva, for a few minutes. Thank you. Let's start. Chanting the Mahavakya.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita flow. Let the Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita flow. Let the Varni open up. Manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow. Manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
So beautiful. How much ever we are experiencing, when we start sharing that, it becomes so beautiful. More and more when we are sharing, we are celebrating Paramashiva space in us. Causing and contributing, all that is the most beautiful space for us to experience Paramashiva. So make sure you are sharing in Kailash Courtyard Manifesting Power Group, which is a tinyurl.com/powermanifestation. If you type tinyurl.com/powermanifestation, it will take you to the Power Manifestation group and you can post it there, your videos and your powerful cognitions. Thanking Swamiji for such a beautiful cognition shift power over now, and also such a clarity in different levels. He has given the pramanas for us to experience the same reality, and the initiation on top of everything, anupaya, for us to be pulled out of delusion just by listening. It gets cleaned beautifully. Once there was a rishi, and he had a guru who had a person who will bring the milk for him, and she was getting delayed. Excuse me. So one day he was like, why are you getting delayed? And she said, I was listening to all these great scriptures, so I got delayed. And every time she got delayed and delayed and delayed, he kept on asking, why are you going for that? You come directly and serve what me, and that's what is required. And she kept on going and saying, that is so fulfilling, I want to go there. He said, you will not understand anything. So he took a basket which was dirty and kept it under water, which was broken basket, and opened the tap. It kept on going out, and the whole basket did not hold the water. So that guru said, see, it is all going off and it is not holding the water. But she said, you didn't notice one thing. The basket got cleaned. Even though it did not hold, it cleaned the basket. So when you start constantly sharing and enjoying, celebrating Paramashiva in you, even if something is going crazily wrong in your life, you get cleaned. And after that, you start manifesting the reality. So being patient of what all we have done to be cleaned up, so we can have the space, clean up, and Paramashiva can reside in that beautiful space and manifest our reality. How much depth we are ready to clean up our inner space, that much quickly he's going to appear and manifest our reality. So let's be in the power of now and share all the powerful cognition and power manifestation videos and photos, thanking Swamiji. All that, whatever Swamiji is giving us, surrender to Swamiji's lotus feet again and again, and thank Swamiji for great lesson that you have received, for again and again manifesting your higher superconscious breakthrough. With that, thanking Swamiji, let's end this session with the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavate Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam Paduka Arpanamastu. Om Nithyanandam. Thank you, Swamiji. Thank you, each and every one of you who stayed back for the full session. Wonderful. See you in the next